All right, grown-ups, it's just our time. I love the babies, but to help you, I gotta speak my mind. This segment's here to help you grow with book reviews, lessons, and things you'll be glad to know. If your little one's restless or looking to play, send them to my other playlist. The read alouds there will brighten their day. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Teacher Lady Show. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Behind the Book, where we go beyond the pages to get to the heart of the story. I'm Miss Erica, the Teacher Lady, your fairy godparent when it comes to sharing joyful stories and growing young minds. This week, we are talking all about self-confidence. What does it mean to believe in yourself, especially when somebody else tries to knock you down, okay? And as always, we're using picture books to be able to do so. So today's Behind the Book review is going to be on a childhood favorite, Dancing in the Wings by Miss Debbie Allen, which definitely explores what it means to be confident when other people try to tear you down. So if you have not done so, be sure to check out the read aloud first and then come right back here for this segment of Behind the Book, where we go beyond the pages. Y'all got it, to get to the heart of the story. You ready? Let's grow. Summary in my own words. Dancing in the Wings is a story of a young girl who wants to dance. She loves dancing. It's definitely a passion of hers, but the differences in her body make it hard for her to be able to do so. It makes it hard for her to be able to do so physically. There are some pages that talk about that, but more so the mental component of being different. We definitely see the main character, Sassy, struggle with some of her differences. And at the end of the story, spoiler alert, those differences are the very things that allow her to go off and take off in her career. Okay. So it's a fun story. It's a funny story. It's some arguing, some name calling, but it truly does get to the heart of what it means to be confident, especially when you struggle with being different. And there is something about all of us that somebody else is going to find, well, different. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Take home message and the target age audience. So, the take home message is definitely for you to follow your dreams, even when other people can't necessarily see them, right? So, there are all of these different pages where Sassy is trying to dance, but her feet are in the way, or she's trying to dance and somebody is making fun of her, or she's trying to dance and she's sad because she doesn't quite fit in, or the teacher is kind of getting at her. All these different pages that really reflect Sassy trying to do the thing that she wants to do, but she keeps facing these kind of barriers, right? And it does show us how she gets past and through some of those barriers. And so I would say the take home message overall is to do what it is that you're supposed to do, even when somebody else tries to shut it down, even when other people don't believe in you. It's truly beautiful for you to do what's on your heart and what makes you happy. And there are, of course, going to be people that disagree, but you don't let them take control and have control over whether or not you try to do it anyway. Okay. So that's what I would say are some of the main take home messages for this story. Now, in terms of age group, you can go young. You can definitely go 5 years old and up. I would say 5 to 11 is probably a sweet spot. I am in my 30s. I still love the book. My daughter loves the book. It's definitely one of those universal things that many people kind of find themselves enjoying or laughing with. It's a very lighthearted story. So it's easy to kind of go all over the place with the age group of this story. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Who this book is for. The first person this book is for is definitely people who don't fit into the passion that they're going after, right? So if your child is a writer and they don't have hands, this will be a great book. If your child wants to play football and they're significantly smaller, significantly larger than their teammates, this would be a great book. That child that does not fit into the stereotype of what they should look like for that group, utilize this book as a resource to build up that confidence, because the reality is we all are different. And even though 9 people in your group might look one way and you might look another, that doesn't mean that there aren't other differences that we just can't physically see. So utilizing this book as this resource of encouragement of you do belong and you can fit in. And just because you look different doesn't mean that that's bad. And it definitely doesn't mean that we don't try or go after the thing, whatever that passion might be. This is a great book for those type of children. I will also say it's a great book for dancers. I think that it's a really cool gift to receive as a dancer, as someone that understands that art form. There's a lot of dance references and words and kind of overall exposure to the dancing scene. And so if you have even a grown friend that's a dancer, this would be a really cute Christmas gift for birthday edition, or just a Wednesday gift to say, hey, I'm thinking about you. And if your child wants to dance, I would also say that this was a great book for that. You could also use this book as a resource for siblings that are constantly bickering or arguing. There's definitely that relationship is shown throughout the book as well. So there are so many different ways you can take this book. If you have Black children, if you have Black girls, this is another kind of feel-good book just so that we feel seen, because that representation is important. So again, I would have an easier time saying who this book is not for, because it can be utilized for so many different groups. It's a very versatile story. Glows. One of the glows are definitely the illustrations. Goodness, the pictures are brilliant. The attention to detail and the portraits that were created. Shout out to Kadir. This book is 20 years old, as we learned in the read aloud, or 25 years old. It came out in, I believe, 2000, so it's like 25 years old now. And the pictures are just timeless. I mean, 10 years from now, you'll pick them up and the pictures are still gorgeous. And I love that the pictures match the words, because as y'all have heard me say, when you have English language learners, when you have neurodivergent children, when you have children who are just getting into reading, the images are crucial to them understanding and comprehending. Another glow is just the overall story and message of confidence. Okay, the importance of believing in yourself, because my goodness, Sassy, who was the character of the story, she had teachers criticizing her, dance directors criticizing her, other dance students criticizing her, her brother criticizing her. There were so many people who were picking at her that it started to almost work in terms of her own self-belief. Definitely a glow for me was showing that, like, hey, just because other people, and I know it's a bit repetitive at this point, but that's clearly how strong the message was in this story. Just because other people don't feel the same does not mean that you have to change who you are. I definitely think that that's special as well. And then my last glow for this, there's so many glows, right? But one of my last glows for the story is that they did not shy away from the thing that people were making fun of. So throughout the story, Sassy is made fun of for her height, her long legs, and her big feet. And I really appreciate that her mother in the story or her uncle in the story weren't like, your feet aren't big, they're normal size, or your legs aren't that long. It was very much so like, yeah, you got big feet and they gonna help you to be able to dance, and they gonna help you to be able to stand out, and they don't have to stop you from doing what you want to do. And I love that, because I think so often with our children, we try to remove the thing that actually makes them special. And she do got big feet, according to the illustrations. So it doesn't make sense to try to convince her that she doesn't. And that actually doesn't help children with their self-esteem, especially as they get older. If you have a child who has vitiligo and you telling them that there's nothing different about their skin, I get the sentiment of wanting them to feel normal. But what is normal? Right? We're all different. We're all very different. And I think it's very beautiful to be like, yes, you have vitiligo. Yes, your skin is different and it's beautiful. And you should continue being an actress, and you should continue being the next big chef, and you should continue dancing or singing or whatever it is you want to do. So there should be an and, instead of trying to convince our child that the thing that makes them different actually doesn't exist. So I love that about the story. In terms of grows, oh, let me think, because y'all know this hit nostalgia for me, so it's always difficult. In terms of grows, I really only have one. So much of Sassy still being confident had to do with this audition she went to, where the director of the audition chose her to go on to Washington, D.C. She basically won this thing she was going after. It feels like she was confident because this director believed in her, because this director thought she could do well. That's a needle to be threaded in a very special way. That needle, right? Threading that needle is super specific, and you want to make sure that you don't send the wrong message. Because I need Sassy to be confident, even if she did not get that audition. I need her to be confident, even if everybody was coming for her. I need her to be confident, like regardless of the outside factors that have contributed to her now believing in herself again. I need that same confidence anyway. And so the ending could be misconstrued as like, because this dance director accepted her, now she really is good enough. And self-confidence is just that, it comes from self. I don't know, maybe a few other pages to kind of branch that idea out, or a final conversation with her mom of like, and even if he didn't choose you, you were still that one, to just kind of reiterate that your belief in self should not be shaken or changed or altered due to the opinions of people who don't believe in you. Ways to have a more meaningful discussion with your child. I would really hone in on what it means to be confident. In what ways does Sassy in the story show that she was confident, and in what ways was she not? How does she handle being made fun of? Is that a good way to handle being made fun of? Is to just kind of clap back and keep it pushing? Or are there alternate ways that could have made her feel better? I feel like you can pull out any page in this book. Let's test my theory. On the day of the tryout, kids came from all over the city. It was so crowded. Everyone was expected to wear black, but like Uncle Red, I picked my own color, bright yellow. And instead of standing in the back, I squeezed between Molly and Mona right in the front row. I ignored their snickering. Yep, I thought so. You can pull any page in this book and start to have a conversation. Just the pages that I just read hone in on her coming to this audition and wanting to stand out as much as possible. And that can be branched out into a conversation of self-confidence, of making sure that you're as much as you can be, of making sure to not shrink yourself down to make other people feel comfortable. The discussion points can come from any page. It can come from any problem. There are pages, like I was saying, on siblings arguing. If that's why you picked this book up, go for it. There are pages where Sassy stops believing in herself altogether and wants to put the ballet shoes away. And so thinking about why you chose this book is going to be essential in the discussion that you have. But overall, it's very easy to do because the book really does hold its own weight in terms of sparking those conversations. Final thoughts. Dancing in the Wings is an inspiring story of Sassy and her tall, different body and ability to dance and move with it. It truly is the story of a young girl finding her way in being confident in a sport that physically she is constantly told she does not belong. It is one that is so important and valuable for anybody who has a dream or a passion, anybody who is awkward or different or quirky, for you to remember that you do belong and do deserve to be there, okay? Thank you. Thank you for reading with me. Thank you for learning with me. If you have not done so, be sure to check out the read aloud to this book, as well as on Friday, we have the Teacher Lady Speaks episode, which is a crash course on how to raise more confident children. Also, I want to bring your attention to the fact that I am Sue, an author and an illustrator. I have 9 diverse books, and I also started the Empathy Library, which is a pay it forward initiative that gets books to children in need by way of your generosity. So if you're interested in donating a book, go check that out. Be sure to sign up for the newsletter in the description box below. And until next time, remember to enjoy the moment, or go be a joy in the moment. Bye.